Hello, IMO Rider 1 here. Just heading home from work. Got something on my mind. The other day, President Obama came to Phoenix, Chandler more specifically, to tout his economic stimulus bill or package or whatever you want to call it. Now, all that aside, the interesting thing to me was the fact that all the previous presidents that have come to Phoenix have stayed at the Biltmore Resort and Hotel in Scottsdale. Now, the going rate for the room there where the presidents stay is $1,500 a night. Now, this is all according to one of the local news channels. Okay? President Obama decided to stay at another resort, and I don't know the name right offhand. If somebody's really that curious, they can go do a search for it, I'm sure. But, anyways, it was reported that the price for that room was like $3,400 a night. So, over double the price of the Biltmore. So, in this financial crisis that the American, government, people, the American society is in right now, was that the most prudent use of the money by our new president, who's claiming that he has all the answers to fix all of the country's ills? I mean, his campaign promises were such that, I know what's wrong, I'll fix it, I'll work hard, I'll fix it, whatever. Well, spending double what the previous presidents spent to stay in a hotel somewhere isn't being prudent with your money and isn't going to fix anything. That's going to make the deficit or, governmental spending or whatever worse. I don't understand this. I don't understand how somebody that could be that intelligent, because he is an intelligent man, would do something like that. That just turns people against you, and it just makes people scratch their head and wonder, what the heck are you doing? I mean, he'd be the first one to criticize somebody that's a common man doing something like that, but yet, he'll do that and not think twice about it. I just don't understand that. Now, the only possible explanation could be that I did hear a small tidbit somewhere that the resort he chose to stay in is in financial trouble, and the other resort that the other presidents have stayed in the past is not. But this still doesn't make sense to me, because does he think that his, one night that he was here and buying that presidential suite for one night for $3,600 is going to save that hotel from, from bankruptcy or from whatever it is that they're facing, financial woes? I mean, I just don't think so. Now, there might be some advertising value in that, hey, the president stayed here, whatever, but that's not going to have a lasting enough effect, in my opinion, to keep, the place afloat if it's in financial trouble, just on the fact that the president stayed there one night. I mean, there's many, many, many hotels across the country that can, lay claim to that, and at least one, maybe several more here in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area. So I just don't get that, If that was his reason, then I kind of understand it. But if it was for any other reason besides that, I just don't buy it. I just don't understand it. I mean, what makes him think that he's better than all the other presidents, that he can spend more money, stay in a nicer place, or whatever? I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Here's the leader of the free world, the president of the most powerful nation in the world, claiming to be able to, turn things around economically and be the leader of the people, and then he makes a decision like that that's just not sound. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But a lot of the things that Obama does just don't make sense to me. He said he was going to pull all the troops out of Iraq and going to shut the war down. And what does he do? Send 17,000 more troops over. What? Are they supposed to go over there and help pack all the stuff up and carry everything home? Why would you need 17,000 more troops sent to Iraq if you're going to close the war down and pull the troops out? I mean, that just doesn't make sense. And the thing that does make sense to me, though, is that all the politicians, no matter, what level they're in, are crooked, or they go back on their promises one way or the other. And, all the presidents are the worst. George Bush promised things that he didn't do and went back on his word. And, so did Clinton, and so did the other George Bush, and so did Reagan, and on and on and on, Carter, all the way back as far as you want to go. So that's not a big deal. But the other thing that bothers me about that, though, is that the American people, some of the smartest people on the face of the earth, are gullible to this crap. They believe these people and they let them get away with it. I mean, that's just crazy to me that we just let the most, powerful leader in the world lie and tell things like that and get away with it. And, we as a people just don't seem to care. We just accept it. I mean, I accept it. That's why, I even stated that, I understand that they go back on their word, and that all the presidents have done it, and all the politicians do it. It's an acceptable part of our society, and that's crazy. It shouldn't be. We should hold those people to a higher standard. They ask to be held to a higher standard. They claim to be, in a higher standard, but then they do things like that, and we just think it's okay. That just boggles my mind, but there's really nothing you can do about it now. It's so much an ingrained part of society. Everybody believes everything they hear or read. If it's printed or the news tells it to you, then it's got to be true, right? So anyways, I don't know. So that's my opinion. Your opinion may vary.